Hello, this is episode number 4, and as you can probably see from my eyes, I'm a little bit tired today. I'm going to talk about the effect that epilepsy and my medications have on me. This is something that a lot of people with epilepsy have great problems with. We will probably have quite a bit in common. At some point, I'm sure I'll mention something that you've experienced. To start with, I'm going to talk about what epilepsy does to me. The episodes that I've put on before, the clips that I've put on my site before, have been heavily edited because I tend to be quite unsure of what I'm saying. I struggle over words, I hesitate, I'm not terribly confident, which I used to be. I used to teach. I'm going to try to do this without too much editing, because that's because the hesitation and the struggling over words, that is one of the effects of the medication. So, and of epilepsy itself. So I'm going to leave that on here to some extent so that you can identify with that, as I'm sure you do. I was diagnosed with frontal epilepsy only a few years ago. In fact, the final diagnosis was only about 2 years ago, and the seizures I have tend to be mild, but they happen as I'm falling asleep. Now, I say mild, I'm sure compared to what many people experience, they are mild. They affect me, I feel bad about them, I don't feel well, but I don't have tonic-clonic seizures. I don't fall to the ground apart from once. I don't fit and convulse. So in some ways people will probably think, oh, you're okay, it's not too bad. But as I say, my seizures tend to happen as I'm falling asleep. I'm not aware of them generally. I might... my partner has occasionally noticed movement in my lips. I can't think of the word. Twitching of the lips, or I say funny things, I say strange things when I wake up the next morning. But when I wake up the next morning, I'm tired, and I can be tired for 2 days stuck in bed. I then feel guilty because I'm not doing anything. I feel bad because I'm ill. I feel depressed because I can't seem to do anything about it. And I'm going to edit here again because I need to look at my notes. Right, I've just looked at my notes, but they've instantly gone. I should mention that when I go to sleep, I tend to have very vivid dreams, strange dreams where various places, people and events in my past will be mixed up, and when I wake up I remember them and I find them disturbing. On the other hand, lots of things from my past, autobiographical information, are just gone from my memory. And I hate that. I hate that. I just found out last week, I was sitting having tea in a cafe, and my partner and my sister talked about an old family friend who was knocked down and killed by a car about 4 years ago. And it was like it was new information to me. I don't remember that. I don't like things like that. And I found out yesterday that I'd been on Eurostar from London to Paris once, and again, I don't remember that. If someone had said to me, have you ever travelled on Eurostar? I would have said, no, it would be nice, but I have. I don't know if it's the epilepsy or the medication. I don't know if it's the epilepsy or the medication, but I'm always tired. I have a tremor, which is, my neurologist said it was an epilem tremor. I take epilem, 500 milligrams twice a day. That's all I take because all the other medication gave me terrible side effects, worse than the tremor. The neurologist wanted me to try others to see if my tremor lessened, but it's no good. Anything more than 500 milligrams of epilem and the tremor gets worse, and I'm also unsteady on my feet. That gets worse. I need a walking stick outside. When I drink tea, the cup and the saucer rattle against each other, and I find it very embarrassing, especially when I'm out. If I'm in a cafe, I try to use the cup without the saucer, and I try never to fill the cup right to the top because I'll just spill it and get hot tea all over myself. Now I can't remember what else I put in my notes. I'll have to go back to them. Okay, refreshed on the notes. I don't know if I'll be able to continue without forgetting, but let's try. I think my personality has changed. I mean, at one point on one of the medications I became aggressive, and that's definitely not me. But what I'm talking about here is I used to be a teacher. I think a confident teacher. I feel I was confident and competent. Now I'm very nervous, very apprehensive. I don't feel confident to do anything. I don't drive, obviously, and even if I get to the stage where I've been seizure free for a year, I'm not sure I feel confident to drive. It worries me. I have panic attacks. Fortunately, my partner is very supportive and helps me with many things. I also suffer from amnesia, which I've just mentioned. I don't know if others, well, I do know that others have this, but do you find it really upsetting? Whole episodes in my life have gone, and I just don't understand. I have problems with cognition. As a teacher, I used to read. I loved reading. I studied literature, French and English literature at university. It's today. And as I say, I loved books and poetry. Poetry I can just about read, but books are just beyond me now. I start a sentence, and by the time I get to the end of the sentence, I can't remember the beginning. Or even if I become quite interested in the book, I can read a paragraph and instantly forget it, so that the next paragraph means very little. I find that incredibly frustrating. Now, I'm sure I meant to do... Now, I'm sure I meant to mention other things, but I can't remember them at the moment. So I'll have a quick look at my notes in case there's anything I desperately want to mention. But if there isn't, I'll end here, and I hope that somehow sharing my feelings, sharing my experience will help you identify with others, because we're not alone. We all experience very similar things, I'm sure, and it's frightening, very frightening. But take care, and I hope we can share other experiences too. Bye.